we are here. We are happy that you're actually here to do this CPD or the training. And we hope you'll actually have a good time, okay? And not only a good time, but you'll learn and you'll engage us, okay? Challenge us. Let's have meaningful.
So one of the challenges that we face as journalists here in Meru County is most people are not ready to talk about gender, GBV and FGM. Most people shy from addressing those voices, especially ladies. Some ladies, as I've said, there's a lot of male chauvinism in Meru, so you see ladies must be permitted by their men to talk about issues through media. So sometimes you approach a lady, you want to talk about a certain issue on GBV or FGM, and they are not willing to share that information.
You understand that many guidelines or policies regarding gender are done by the government. So when we have newsmen or women in these under the ministry who are not trained or maybe do not know anything about gender, and up there the government has set policies that our guidelines pertaining to gender responsive issues. So it becomes a problem, it becomes a bit tricky for these people or the news people on the ground to work without really knowing the policies that are up there. The policies, for them to be implemented, journalists need to be trained.
It's very exciting for us to bring this training to Meru, basically because as per statistics, Meru has the most media stations, both mainstream and even community radios and small media organizations that are run by NGOs. The other thing is that gender issues are prevalent in this Meru region. We have a lot of GBV issues, and a lot of it's a very highly patriarchal society, and with that of course comes a lot of gender issues. So yeah, when we come to engage the media and communications professionals in this area, and give them a gender lens in terms of storytelling about the issues around this region, we believe and we hope that the society will be transformed. Maybe slowly, but eventually they will advance towards gender equity.
Some of my expectations are to gain more understanding on gender responsive reporting. And also, I'm also looking forward to understanding the terminologies and how they are used, so that at least I'm able to inform the public from a better perspective.
I wanted to learn more on how I can do reports, communication under this organization, because we face many challenges on gender. You see, like for example, in last year data, Kajiado County was indicated number 2 in terms of teenage pregnancy, and on top of that, at least 5 girls losing their life yearly through FGM. Being we are working on a policy that will cover Nairobi region and Kajiado, and also its environment. I want to learn more so that when we come up with this policy, the implementation will take place accordingly.
The main challenge we've had with reporting is clearly bringing out the story of the community in a way that it really just showcases what is going on, and also communicating the change and the impact that we are hoping to achieve. So by the end of this, I would say my goal is to be able to communicate with my team back in the community-based organization, for all of us to be able to package what we do well, to be able to package the stories of those that we have impacted and those that we're intending to impact in a better way than we have been doing.
of the message that I was trying to pass across is women in sports media. And now I understand why we have few women in sports media. How I wish that this would not have been the case. But I hope that the engagement that I had is going to change some, so that those who have daughters, maybe who are aspiring to be journalists, they can talk them into becoming sports journalists. It's sad that, a lot of the examples, there was excitement about, international female sports journalists, but not our local sports journalists. What are we doing wrong? I hope, through this kind of training or this kind of a class, we are going to change that. We're going to change the narrative.
One of the skills that I got from the training that has really helped me in training today, taking the journalists to the training, it was more on legal and ethical considerations that we have to pursue while reporting and communicating. So I was able to identify and analyze some of the laws and the policies that they've been placed both internationally and regionally, and also at the local level, in the national level, that help in promoting gender equality, so that I can be able to even train the journalists on what laws and what are the policies and what are the policies that are there that they can help them while reporting. They can also help them in promoting gender equality and pushing for more policies and guidelines that will promote genders in their areas of operation or in their lines of duty.
One of the most eye-opening content that I can say I've learned in this training is more about how the approach we normally take when preparing or maybe working on our stories as journalists. Sometimes we just come up and just do a write-up or make a presentation maybe to the audience without thinking maybe how well prepared am I. There's a whole aspect of research whereby we got quite an insight into the frameworks that we can always engage in when we are preparing our content, and it calls for even more studies, if I can say so, because I didn't know personally there are some frameworks which somebody can use to come up with a gender-sensitive report, but the fact that I got an eye-opening to those frameworks, it gives me an opportunity also to go and continue further studies on the same on those frameworks, so that I can be able to employ them in my different reports or in different parts of my practice as a journalist.
I think what stood out for me during this training is the aspect of how do we portray women when we are reporting on issues to do with gender. How do we make the general population perceive a certain gender? So it also reflects on what you write, what you cover as a reporter, as a communication person, in your narrative, in case you want to describe an aspect of a scenario. What things do you need to consider for you to make sure that you're not perceiving or you're not putting out some certain aspects of inferiority to a certain gender or something?
The thing that really stood out for me was I really didn't take much notice of how we use sexual undertones in advertising stuff, which has become a very, very, very rampant practice right now. Like, if you want to get more views, if you want to get more subscribers, and if you want to get more coverage, people nowadays tend to use more sexual undertones in their advertising, which I think is derogatory in a way, but people don't notice because they play with words so nicely. So you can't sue them, or you can't tell them that this is actually not gender sensitive, because then if you tell them, they're going to say, we played with our words. I'm not responsible for what you think. I am only responsible for what you say, which is a very wrong perception. So coming out of this training, I am learning that I'm supposed to be very, very, very keen on the words that I use, that these words should be very, very much gender sensitive towards the people I am reporting to, because you never know what the other person might be thinking.
When you tell the stories of gender how they are supposed to be told, it fights the stereotypes that exist, that it is only women that can be raped, men can be raped as well, that Gender-based violence is not just about violence being meted on women. It can be meted on men as well. The challenges that we face in society, it is journalists who can help amplify them and communicate them in a way that will get governments or people in authority to act.